Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Aquaponics on a Budget. Uh, Today, while we're waiting for everybody to get here, let me show you what we're doing. We're actually building a T-Syphon. That wasn't good. Sorry about that. I dropped one of my pieces into the glue. But we're building one of these. Now, I know some of y'all are asking, what is that he's talking about building? This is a siphon. And what happens is when you're putting water into your aquaponics, this is covered up with media, you know, your gravel, your clay balls, whatever you want to use. And when the water level gets to above this and the air escapes, then it creates a siphon. And these two things, they pull up all the water from the bottom and pull it out. Now, I've been experimenting with these for quite some time. I have some, other ideas, some ideas that don't work, some things that do work. But, for the most part, that's what it's about, is learning and trying and figuring things out for everybody else, because that's what we want to do is help everybody figure out everything. But anyway, so we hook this up to our drain so that the water will drain back out and head back to our fish tank. And this acts like it feeds our bacteria that lives on the media. But you can build a bell siphon. Now, I had bell siphons to begin with, and that's why all these tanks have bottom drains on there, is because I had bell siphons. But bell siphons took up a 3-inch, 4-inch round hole in my media. That didn't give me no place to grow. It just took up so much room. There was this big white thing sticking out of there. Who needs that, right? So, but actually, I was playing around with I was filling up how I discovered this. I was filling up a tank, an aquaponics tank, and it was going to be a floating tank. And I was filling it up past where the standing pipe. There was a standing pipe that was in there, and it drained down, and it was filling up past the past this point. And I didn't want to do that, so I started taking elbows, and I was like, well, I'll put this here, and I'll put this here. And I was just trying to keep the water from, draining out. And somehow I wound up with something similar to that. And I looked down one time. I was like, "Where's all my water going?" And duh, that's where I figured it out. That once the air had come past this point, it creates a siphon, and it'll siphon all the way down till air breaks the siphon again. Now, let me take it apart for different parts and stuff. So we have all our parts here. Now this is what we're going to need. We're going to need, to build this T-Syphon, we're going to need 2 caps. These are 1.5 inch caps. They're end caps, the plugs, the end caps. Now that's going to create these, which is a media guard. We're going to need 2, this one fell in some sludge, 2 1/2-inch PVC caps. Put them up there. We're going to need a T, 1/2-inch T. We're going to need some scrap pieces of 1/2-inch pipe. We're going to need 2 elbows for 1/2-inch elbows, and that's all we need to build a siphon for your aquaponics system. The reason I'm building this today and not running the water in is because we actually need to build 4 of them for these 4 beds that are right here that everybody sees. But I've never had a video where I show step by step everything that I'm doing, and it's live TV, so there's going to be some mistakes. So let's hope not. Let's not have let's hope not have we have any mistakes. All right, now I don't have this in place. Let me set this inside. But I don't know the exact distance I'm going to need from the drain pipe through the T-Syphon. So what I'm going to do is just make these even so that we're just going even, and I'll trim them later when we actually putting it together. There, it went away with it. I'm just throwing all my pieces around everywhere. All right, now, so, all right, here we go. Now, we're going to have to drill holes in our caps. And these caps are, you know, the reason they're caps and not just an open end, because the siphon is so strong that it'll suck rocks right through here, or your media, and it'll clog up your T-Syphon. So you have to have smaller than the media you use and holes so that it just pulls them out. But there's no real safe way to do that except by putting it on a piece of scrap PVC pipe and just kind of drilling in, you know. I want my water flow to be greater than this half-inch distance right here. So I want to have enough holes in here so that it's greater than what this volume would be. So we got to put quite a few. That's a lot of holes. Got to put some at the end. All right. Now there's no real rhyme or reason, you know, to do this. There's no pattern yet. You see, I just put holes randomly through there, just so there's plenty of holes in there, so that it can drain out easy. Of course, we got 2 to do, so. Now, while I'm drilling these and everything, while I'm done with that one, so it goes really quick. Now, roots are going to grow down here. They are going to grow in here. They do the same thing for a bell siphon, so don't think you're getting off by not by having a bell siphon. They're going to grow in here, and they're going to grow in here, and they're going to clog your pipe some. So every, I don't know, I guess it was 2 years I had to dig these out, you know, move the media back and remove the roots that were in there. Of course, there wasn't that many, but there were roots in there, and I just wanted my siphon to be growing a little bit. I mean, going a little better. So, but anyway, that's our 2 pieces there. Now, we take these 2 caps and we put them on our 2 up pieces, which are these pieces right here. So now we have to do this piece, and this piece is, I'm not going to mislead you. This piece is a little hairy to do. I mean, it's preferably you have a vise and other ways of doing this, because it is kind of tricky. I've tried to put the blade inside the cap, Just go slowly. I don't want it catching, ripping my hand. So there's our hole. Let's make sure that now we're gonna have to. Drill bit was a little bit small. That's easy to fix. Just gotta get it in there and just lean it around. Go from the other side. We're almost there. Sorry. I'm not going to rush this too much, even though we're live. I'm not going to rush this too much because I like my hand. So y'all just got to bear with me, and we're almost there. There we go. Very simple. Now we take our scrap piece here. We use it again. I'm going to lay this down flat so that it's flush. I could do these at the same time, but we going to ask y'all, y'all see where I put my drill bit? Now we're just going to create water vents again. At the bottom here. Just to keep our media from coming through. Would you look at that? That is awesome. I was just talking this morning to a friend of mine about how you can't buy anything anymore without it breaking. You know, that drill bit is practically brand new. And it is broke right in half. Now, you can see I just put holes all through there just to make sure the media gets out. So we're actually going to take this and we're going to put it facing down on this. So it'll sit flat on the bottom, just like that with that cap. And y'all can see there how that works as a good media guard. But we need two of those. So we're going to have another one. I put it on the inside because, well, I got to get it started on the outside because there's a little nipple in there, I guess, leftover plastic. So I'm going to have to try to find that on the top. Sorry about this. catching there. I'm not pulling the drill right this moment because that's the point it would snatch it out of my hand right there. So what I'm doing is making sure I get past that snatch point. I'm just moving it back and forth. That's why I say a vise would be so much better. So we're going to come just like this from this side now. Go slow. I'm going to go ahead and round that out. Just free rounding. All right. Wow. That one went pretty good. That one went quick. See, I already put it onto my scrap piece. So, there we go. PVC scraps. So it already went on there. It's on there smooth. So, oh, I don't need to take that off. I need to leave that on there. We need to put our broken drill bit back on there. Just like this. We're going to make our media vents in this one now. I mean our water vents. Keeping the media out of there. The baby goats hear me, so y'all might hear them in the background. They're like, "Where's breakfast?" They went from, you know, no human contact to big babies. Oops. All right, that's, I would say that's greater than the volume distance. Now, if these were going into the tank and into the media, the fish or whatever, you know, you have in aquaponics would want to eat these little white things because they do look pretty appetizing to a fish or an animal. They'll come up on, at least try to bite on them. So I try to clean up, you know, any places that have them little burrs on them. Plus, if you take them off, you're less likely that you're going to get a clog if something was to be moving through there. Like I grow worms in my aquaponics too. It's so aerated that you know, the worms can live fine in the aquaponics. So, but if one was to get too close to this and the siphon hit right at the wrong moment, you know, then he would just, you know, he would just move right through if he didn't get caught on a burr, and he would end up as fish food. All right, we got that one pretty good. Let me clean up this one here, and or, you know, it could be, you know, could be a piece of duckweed, could be, you know, just, you don't want a piece of algae. I know you see lots and lots of videos of people saying that algae is bad. Algae is not bad. The fish eat it for one thing. It's a free food supply for them. It purifies the water. You know, if you were going out and you couldn't boil your water, you couldn't do anything, you know, you just had to drink from somewhere, look for bright green algae in the water and drink right from that area, because it's most likely got all the impurities out of it. So that's what it thrives on. So you still might get some bacteria, but you have less likely chance then. So we got that cleaned up. All right. We got that one done. I got to clean up this one a little bit. Just because the show has to be 30 minutes. I still haven't been able to change the day of the show. I would really like to change the time of the show, simply because in the morning, you see I'm out here in a jacket. It's not cold out here, but it's very chilly. It's in the lower 40s right now. But I'd like to do it in the afternoon when the greenhouse has had a chance to heat up. And see, once you've got this down pat, literally with a vise, I could make one of these in 5 minutes. And I like to see anybody try to make a bell siphon in 5 minutes. All right, we got that cleaned up. Oh, plant this in. I have tried the bell siphon, and of course, everybody's tried. Well, a few people, like y'all remember the person I had on my show, JT Perry. He just couldn't figure out how to do this. I don't know why it was difficult. Now, there is a catch to it, and it's the same thing with the bell siphon. If your water flow is greater, if you have a big pump pumping water in there, you got this massive pump that's pumping water in there, the siphon will never break. It's the same way with the bell siphon, because if the water never has a chance to run out completely. So you want your water intake to be less than your siphon outtake. So, but if you don't have a choice, what you can do is, when you're building your T-Syphon, is that you can make one just a little bit shorter than the other one, just like that. Now, the reason you want to do that is when your pump's still filling up the thing, but the siphon is keeping up. But when it gets to this point, when it's dropping down to this point, it'll catch air right here at this one, and this one will still be going. So you're actually be leaving just about that much water at the bottom. And with all my plants, I have never seen a problem with it doing that. So this is how you fix the problem of your pump being too big. Now on T-Syphon, you can't do that. So you guys read the sign. All right, so we got our 2 down pieces. Now we take 2 elbows because we want to turn it towards the. This is a really big one, like this. Yeah, I don't have a T that I wanted to show y'all. I have to get these pieces out. I have another T, but the hurry that I was in to get everything together for the show, I couldn't find one. So We'll just take out them 2 pieces, just take a second. All right, now, depending on how you want this, you know, you could turn this sideways, extend your T all the way out to here, have one just like that. That would make a T-siphon that way. Of course, this one, you know, if you were having your pump too big, you would want to make this one the furthest one away, your shorter one. But anyway, I usually put them pretty close together, because if it's going to pull all the water, and it gives that chance, I mean, the tanks are level, so you really don't have to worry about that. So I usually make them about even. So what I'm going to do is just cut this one right in half. And I never glue my parts to Aquaponics, because you have to clean them out. You have to do general maintenance on them. I mean, they fit together so tightly that, you know, and there we go. That's a T-siphon. This pipe would connect down to your drain, you know, which in drums they already have a 3/4 inch drain. So what I do is I change the size. I put a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, and then go right out the drain plug. So that is making a T-siphon for your aquaponic systems. And I've hoped I've talked clear enough about, you know, why you want a T-siphon or even a bell siphon. There's nothing wrong with bell siphons. They've been working for years, and it's just a matter of preference. I mean, some people can build a bell siphon real quick. I mean, it's just all in your skill set. And I don't want to say anything bad about bell siphons. Just there's no adjustments, and you know, breaking the siphon is a problem, and you'll see all kinds of videos on breaking a siphon because your pump is increased. Now, one other thing I need to mention about the T-siphons, and something I have, when the water is filling up and your water line is about, you know, over the down of the T, now the water is going to start leaking. It's going to start leaking out of there. You know, it's going to start, as it's filling up, it's going to start leaking out of there. So your pump has to be greater than the leakage of that's coming through. So I know it's all floating and, you know, and floating. It's easier than it sounds, but you just want to increase your pump a little bit. If it's not catching a siphon, it's same thing with the bell siphon. If it's leaking quicker than it's pumping in, you're gonna have to increase your pump volume of water. If it's not breaking the siphon, then you need to decrease it just a little bit. And you figure it out. It's easy. Once you say, oh yeah, just like last week we were figuring out that the water runs downhill. There ain't nothing easier about that. Just make everything pointing downhill. Car's coming in. He's got the whole neighborhood of dogs started barking. So y'all excuse them. But so next week I'm gonna try to have these built. I'm gonna have them set up in here, and I'm gonna build 4 different types, so that along these 4 things. And I'm not gonna put media in there yet. I'm just gonna build the 4 different siphons, and we're gonna test every one of them with water. I'm gonna try to set up a tank, a 55-gallon drum, and just fill these up, you know, as we're testing them. We're gonna figure out what is the best, right? That's the best thing to do. Let's just experiment. Let's just give it an honest effort and try to see which is the best. All right, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I'll catch you next week on Aquaponics on a Budget. Sorry, Anna wasn't out here. She slept in late today, which is perfectly fine. So, all right, guys. Oni, Obe, Ocha means I love you in Hebrew. Later, guys.